My name is Maher Cissoko. I'm from West Africa originally, but based in Sweden. And yeah, I come from a griot family, Jali, which is music family, call it, from father to son, generation to generation. And I play the instrument called Kora. Yeah. And today I collaborate correct with Susu and we play together. Mm.
Yeah, so my name is Sousou and I'm from Sweden, and we are based in Lund right now. And yeah, I met Maher through the Kora because as a young teenager, I went to the Gambia to study the Kora. And then a couple of years later, I met Maher's elder brother Solo Sissoko, and he invited me to the family in Senegal. So I traveled there, and that's how we met, like 15, 16 years ago. And since then, we've been touring the world all over, and we released 4 albums. And now we're gonna play for you in Greifswald.
Oh, that was long time because she was the balance. She was learning the instrument, and me, I come from that instrument. Know what I mean. So those she been trying to play those traditional songs, and I was playing those traditional songs for a long time. So I was like looking for new new way of my way to play the instrument. That was difficult from the beginning. We've been trying to to do together, but it was difficult. Point.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the traditional songs and I wanted to play them because I just learned them, and then he wanted to like, I played those for all my life. For him it was like old songs, so it took a while before we found like how to work together. And then we started to create new songs so that we could create something new together
Together.
that both could feel like, okay, this is something we are developing together. And that was 2006, I think. Yeah. And then we released the first album in 2008. So it took some years before we like really got into like professionally working together.
It's really mixed. I don't know exactly how to say, but it's open. Like the vibes we pick, I pick into different different category of music, and reggae, jazz, soul, Afrobeat. Those mix give me a creation, like to able to compose like that way. I feel myself how I get more inspired, like to pick into different.
Yeah, and to transfer it into the kora, and then
Kora.
the kora gives it another vibe because the kora is not like any other instrument. Like the way it's built up, the way it's like, the way you can play, the way you play chords. Like you cannot change the tuning in the middle of the song. Like you have like one key, you have to stay in that key. So like when you transfer other songs into the kora, it gives the songs a different vibe because you have to like fit it into the kora. So even if you play like pop or jazz into the kora, it will have another sound and another feeling to it. Yeah, that was thanks to my father actually, who is also a musician, and he played together with Alajin Bai, a kora player from the Gambia. So that's why I came in touch with the instrument. And after I graduated school, I just wanted to do something like before I was gonna study something real. I was thinking like, oh, it could be nice to go to Gambia because we know Alajimbai is there, and I could study the kora because I always loved to play instrument. Like my father had a room full of different instruments, and I always wanted to play like every instrument I see. I'm like, oh, I want to play that. I want to play that. I want to. So with the kora, I was like, wow, this is not like any other instrument I've played before, and I couldn't understand how it was working, and I was really like, oh, this is so difficult. I really have to learn this. So that's why after I graduated, I went to the Gambia to study the kora. Yeah, I think we have a lot of different role models. I don't know, who is your role model, Maher?
It's a lot. I can. I don't know like that. It's a lot of in a different category music. I have reggae like Morgan Heritage, and how you call it, Mbalak in Senegal, West Africa. It is Njogal Saho, and Richard Bona, Cameroon, jazz, a lot.
Yeah, and I have like I love singers like Tracy Chapman, India Arie, Alicia Keys, like pop soul singers and singer-songwriters as well. Good question. I think it's different songs. Like we stay together, we live together, so it can be if one of us is sitting, like if Maher is sitting playing the kora, he can just sit and play, and then I can, walk around in the apartment and just get an idea of a song or like a lyrics or. So it's not so often we sit down and like now we're gonna work. It's more like we just live together and we just play and.
It's come natural.
Yeah, it's like maybe I play a song and then Maher adds something on it. So it's different. Like some songs are more like maybe I started them, and some songs are he started them, and then we add onto what the other one started, and then we make a mix out of it. Like if I start some chords and some lyrics, and then Maher adds his lyrics and the kora, or in the other way around. So it's often like that. Yeah, it's not so often like we sit and create from scratch everything. It's often like one who starts and then the other one adds. Yeah, I think that's like describing the process. Yeah. For me, I think of the China tour.
The China tour, yeah, me too, yeah.
But that was not so funny. I mean, it was funny, but it was like very stressful. Like, I tried to make it short, but we were playing on Iceland first. We didn't have like the straight ticket from Iceland to China. It was like landing first in Copenhagen, and there we were gonna take the instruments and then take the next flight to China. So it was not like one ticket because we had a concert in Iceland first. And then that flight from Iceland was delayed. It was like storm or something. So it was delayed, and it was very delayed. So it was hard for us to catch the flight in Copenhagen. So when we landed in Copenhagen, we had to like run without getting the luggage. Like we had to run without the instrument, without everything, and just jump on the flight to China. And I had to run like outside to try to get the instrument, but there was no way for me to get the instruments, and it was like panic, stressful. And then I was gonna stay actually in Copenhagen and take the instrument and take the next flight, and the band was gonna leave because then we're like, then it's more safe, and that will not cost so much to rebook all the tickets, and we only have to rebook my tickets. But then we were traveling with our son, who was like under 2 years, so he was like traveling on my ticket. And Maher was standing at the gate. He wanted to enter with our son, but they didn't allow him to enter with our son without me also being on the plane, because he was on my ticket and he couldn't leave my son and go, So then I had to like run all the way to the gate, and I was so late, and I was like running and then I made it to the flight, and we all made it to the flight, but all the instruments were left in Copenhagen. And then we went to Frankfurt to change the flight, and we were like trying to call the guy in China for him to arrange with the luggage to come, and it was like panic feeling. And then he said, no, you have to go back to Copenhagen again and bring the instruments, and like it was so stressful. But then in the end we went all the way to China. without the instruments. We had only one calabash, and I had my guitar. So we had one calabash and the guitar. And then we went all the way to the concert place, and we still didn't have any instrument. And we did all the sound check with Maher with no kora. And normally the band is like, the sound of the band is from the kora. So without the kora is very. But we did like the calabash in front with Maher on the calabash, and then me on the guitars. He had like playing percussion instead. But then somehow, miraculously, so we did the sound check with all of that, like trying to find a new sound without the kora. But then like half an hour before the concert, the instruments arrived. So then we could just like tune the kora quickly and make a quick sound check, and then bam, do the concert.
It was amazing. It was lucky stuff. Mix different.
Yeah, I love to sing like to just sing along with different singers, that like powerful singers. I just love to just sing along to like Beyonce and those power women. Yeah. But also, I mean, we also create our own songs. So sometimes we just walk around singing. I sing all the time. Like when I was a child, that was the way my mother was seeing if I was feeling good or not. Like she could hear me sing all the way up from the road when I was coming from school, and she could hear like, oh, now Sousou is coming, because she could hear me singing long before I came home. And then when I was not feeling good, I was not singing. So if I was not singing, she knew that, okay, something is wrong because she's not singing. So that's me.